Video for May, January, February, March. That's funny because that's the second time I've done that. Something major for you guys is going to happen in May. When I was trying to do the write-up on what the month was going to be, I literally wrote May 2 times. And I'm feeling as though some major event is going to be like a turning point or a tipping point is going to happen around that time. It is, I don't know what time it would be in Perth, WA, but I've woken up, I've got grounded, I've spoken to my beautiful angel Jen and Lysiana, and I'm trying to keep myself incredibly grounded, which I'm feeling pretty grounded today. And I thought I would do a video for Libra. I am Libra, but most of my chart is Cancer. And I have my Venus house in Scorpio. So energetically speaking, there has been sort of yes, it has been intense, but ride with the storm. I've been learning some different techniques from my beautiful spiritual friends from YouTube and clientele who have become friends. And we've got to really keep ourselves, Libra, very grounded. And I mean, this is for everyone really, because the energy has been very strong. It's been a very big emotional wave. And I guess it's about being gentle with yourself, but also honouring your truth of your needs. So you've really got to come to a very peaceful place, and there's great guilt connected to, really owning your truth and standing in your power and coming to a place where, for your faults, you are gentle. And when you feel you're coming from a place of fear, like Jen would say to me, speak to yourself in the heart and, forgive yourself for what you feel you've done wrong, but love yourself with integrity through it. So what you've got to come to a realization is that you've actually changed, but you've physically shown who you are as a whole. And it's making you very scared in a way of being who you are in your authentic self. So in some aspects, you know that situations in your life are out of balance. Now, Librans are very balanced signs, but sometimes the scales tip a bit too far on one side than the other. And that's when the energies around you are almost coming at you like a whirlwind. And then you've got to go gain clarity. In a clarity sense, you do know when these things are happening. So you can actually foresee situations unfolding, and you're visually saying to yourself, whoa, this has been like, yeah, exactly, a crazy ride. And the only way I can describe of what I've been going through as a Libran, and I'm probably heavier so in the last week, but it has been going on for a long time, is the Jerry Springer show. Rolled into the Bold and the Beautiful, and I could literally, and life itself is almost like the block where you're rebuilding and everything's an eaten mess. So, fun. Now, these energies had started, as I said in the previous video, probably as far back as Christmas, but further. Balance was really coming through in a sense of a halt. And you coming to a place where you emotionally felt you were standing in your power, and it felt very unnatural to you, but energetically you were just feeling like a shift inside you had occurred and you just couldn't do something the same way anymore. Some aspects of life have remained the same, where you have just continued doing it even though your higher self has been saying something's not quite balanced here, something's not quite fair. It's also taking you back down memory lane. And these triggers, it's like you've had to remove yourself from a situation. And I'd say during Christmas, it may have been family-related dynamics, but they were an environment, a vibration. So the way you dealt with them was very different. Moving forward, this aspect is still in your mind, but you're healing from it. The distance or the way in which you're directly dealing with the aspect, it is assisting with healing, so to speak. On top of that, it was like that was the starting point and the tipping point. And then after that, there were other dynamics happening inside your life that you were visually seeing were out of balance, but not quite knowing how to address, not knowing how to balance, and time really being, in your mind, a very heavy energy. Now, the time as such, you're feeling you don't have time. You're feeling you're a juggling act in a circus. You feel you're walking through on a tightrope. There's been aspects of disrespect connected towards you, and then you've come to a place where you've gone, breathe, get back inside yourself, and then proceed forward. So there has been stop, start going on in every aspect of your life. And definitely there's been a balance where you've been looking at situations saying, very much these situations are out of balance and they really need to be addressed. In some shape and form, you feel that your life has become super serious and you're wanting to get the old you back, but it's not that the old you isn't there. It's that the real you is there now. So the laughing and the happiness and the joy is there to be had. It's just because you're doing the work and the emotional purging that on the 3D people are saying, gee, you've really changed, you know, something's really not quite right with you. But the fun core self of who you physically are is still physically there. It's just going through a bit of an overhaul, bringing the light of who you really are to the surface. Now, a lot of us have experienced sort of like a stop and a halt connected to money, and that will be in every zodiac sign because there's sort of like an environmental factor going on, and it comes in waves and it directly affects all of us. So in a monetary sense, when you're doing aspects of purging, what you find is on the 3D, you can see that there should be forward movement in the monetary sense. But during purging, you don't get that. You actually get trying to maintain the inner peace. It is directly connected to heart chakra, you know, and the give and the receive. When that situation is in balance, that's when the monetary situation is going to flow. I do see you guys having a lot of paperwork and a lot of catch up that you need to do, but side energies keep pulling you left and right. And I do feel that you had massive plans for February, but it feels as though everything was pulling at you, so you've been able to maintain. You are behind, however. So you're looking at it and you're saying, right, enough is enough. Draw a line in the sand. You know that you have to complete and adhere to certain tasks. You're also taking this situation very seriously. So there is an aspect where you're jumping into it, and then you're jumping out of it and you're sort of saying, okay, when I'm saying you're jumping in and you're jumping out, it feels though when you're getting these emotional triggers, you're getting in it like you're back there in heyday, all the way to you're jumping back out and talking to yourself like a parent and saying, wow, I can't believe you related to that situation in that way. I can't believe that you had that emotion inside of you. I thought that was well and truly done. It is moving, and you are doing the work on it, but you've also got the 3D as well. So some people can actually walk with the 5D and 3D smoothly. Some of us forget our spiritual self and then, are too caught up in the shit happening around us. And that's when our spiritual self needs to come back down and get grounded. And it's almost like as an adult, you have to inside of yourself be that teacher and that parent figure, saying, whoa, hold up, get yourself grounded. Why are you relating to it this way? Be the higher person. But that can be another aspect where you're getting triggered as well, is that you are tired of very much being the bigger person, the person that, overlooks situations. You don't want to be a doormat. You need to be respected. And again, I keep hearing integrity, love, respect, loyalty. And again, they may be blocks that you physically had, but it also might be that the way you are relating to the world is directly affecting your flow and perhaps in others. But you do still have to honour your path of what you're wanting to do. Now, some of you is able to see you're understanding an aspect of in life, you ride the wave. You understand that. And that has become something that you have become very skilled at doing. You also have foresight, which you're forward seeing to a goal. You're very goal orientated. So the frustrating situation is that you're able to do both, but some aren't, and you need to have compassion connected to that. It's almost like you're the educator, so don't feel that everyone's going to do things at your time frame or in the way you do things. By you doing it and standing in your power, it can educate. You actually only have your own personal circle of concern. Directly to affect another's is their domain. But by being in your power and walking your truth, they then can be motivated by change within themselves should that need to arise. So it's like somehow your axis is off And the way you're focusing on your path is you're on that wave and you're riding it, but you're looking out to the distance and you can see the destination of what you're wanting to manifest, how you know on the 3D, every picture of that puzzle can look in a potential, in a very rational manner. But, you know, more eyes on a situation can actually do the work quicker and have a different perspective as well. So it's not necessarily that you haven't physically seen something on the visually in the distance on that ocean, that you have not seen your future of how perhaps certain things may unfold. But other people may actually have a different perspective from a different angle that may also be relevant. But because they're not directly working with you, you feel you're on a ship off that wave and you're looking out to the distance and you've seen every aspect of a situation transpiring. So you're painting several different pictures and all of them, you know, will need some aspect of work. But because no given path has been directly chosen, it's looking like an eaten mess. So some of you will be retreating back. Now, on a monetary sense, it may be that I feel as though you're either going to focus on one area for a little bit in the first week and you're going to get grounded. There is going to be forward motion connected to business. Again, there's potential there, but the key is staying grounded. The key is staying busy and grounded during that time, or you might get sidetracked, but you've got to stay in your power and get this situation, you know, sorted. Any questions while I light my smoke? It's very humid here at the moment. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, what else am I picking for you guys? I do feel you meditating a lot on, you know, your friendships, on your responsibilities. Hello, Robin. I also see you really feeling like you've been through, now it's not just the dark night of the soul, it's the fact that you've looked back on past betrayals, past hurts, and you very much have come to a place where you don't want to live in old energy. So you feel the hurt, you feel the pain. You have been looking at situations and saying, wow, I don't want to co-create that. I also don't want to have that situation reoccur every time. So you're aware in an aspect you need to purge it and heal it, and that you do have a play in that situation, emotionally speaking, to manifest it. But you keep, as I said, bouncing from the 5D to the 3D. So you come back to your spiritual self and you're saying, yes, everything's fine. Yes, that was the past. You know, you've done the purging, you've done healing. Yes, there still is more. But then you're getting caught up in the energy of visually what you're seeing. And I do feel a lot of you have felt physically bombarded, like a force field. It's a bit like a warship. And you just feel that there has been day after day after day, attack, attack, attack. And it's just silly little things, which trigger silly emotions from the past. But very much, some of you may have done a great deal of crying and suddenly you feel that you can't. And it's a very strange feeling. And I mean, I can directly relate to this because during my purging process, there was a great deal of crying going on. And now physically I can't cry. And the only way I can directly relate to it is, it's almost like you can't break what's broken. So maybe spiritually speaking, that needed to physically fall away so you could come to a whole place where you had the peaceful calm to just look at it and say it was what it was. And now it's like our energy has changed, where we were the children or the person looking in on the energies of what happened to us in our life. We're now not. We're now looking at it from an outsider's point of view, realizing how we had a play in that situation, and we're parenting ourselves. So it's like our spirit is visually showing us now, not us as a child, you know, in our mental mind, looking at that situation, feeling that pain. We're still feeling it, but the pain has been taken. It is there. It's just a different way of looking at it, I feel. And the way it's happening is you're sort of looking at it like it's what you did in the situation. So that's causing that final chapter, the cog in the wheel, to heal, to actually see the perspective of it differently and know that you do have power. So there is a bit of manifesting going on and realizing, you know, where you have your power and how you can directly use it for the betterment of your future. You're also looking at your relationships. Now, when I'm saying relationships, it can be with people you love. It can be with a love interest. And there's frustrations. You visually, over old ground before, what you'd find is, wow, what was that? I think we're going to have a lightning storm. Okay, you were sort of feeling as though, okay, with these relationships, you're processing the things you felt. You can see on the 3D certain things need to be balanced and moved. But at the moment, you feel you're doing all the work. And on the, yes, on the 3D, you may be feeling that. That's not to generally say that is what's happening. But in order for other people to do the work, you actually need to directly step back. You need to step back and watch it unfold. You have been having clarity connected to people's attitudes, who they really are as human beings. And you're needing to step back to have this happen if this hasn't happened yet. You're needing to not lead the way in which the road is supposed to go. And you're supposed to come to a place where you have enough faith in yourself that you know your spiritual path will be shown. Does that make sense? I do feel you're waiting on an aspect of a response. And you did have a time in mind, and that's frustrated you. It can be that you're leaving the old behind. Now, when I'm saying the old, it doesn't have to be a physical person. It can be a person, but it's more the feeling of the old, not necessarily the actual aspect of a physical person. It feels more the emotion you have to let go. So you're not doing that circle of pain. You're letting it die. You're letting it go. Because you're realizing in being in that energy, it's not bringing you any further to the energy of what you're wanting to manifest in your life. And that can be the hurts connected to family members, partners, exes, children. You're just having a real good 3D look at everything that's going on, and you're stepping back and going, wow. Yeah, pretty much do the laundry. Now, I do feel you guys looking around, and actually, you know, that's quite relevant, you know, looking around and saying, well, wow, while I've been adhering to everybody else's responsibilities and keeping that, juggling that going, where is my life going? And you've been asking that for a while, but you've physically been getting no response. But you gave your power away. It was like you felt that their access was the only access. And yeah, in a way, you wanted to go down a path. And it's not to say that that path isn't happening. But during the time of clarity, you still have obligations. And it feels as though those obligations had, emotionally speaking, been unable to be kind of the balance being kept there. So it might be that you've had cleaning to do. It's very humid, so I'm coughing. You've had, you know, laundry to do, paperwork to do, work, family kind of commitments, and you really haven't had time to have your own downtime. So you may find energetically you're going to have a pause at some point if you haven't already. I know I have energetically, but I definitely do need a holiday. And the holiday can be something very simple. It can be, you know, just a day out. Or just do you. It doesn't have to be a physical, I'm going away, I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to, you know, have red wine and do my thing. Whatever you feel is your time out, you need to just have it. You need to have a good night's sleep, which then you're going to wake up in your more adult self, where you can look at the perspective in a more calm, rational manner. And during this time, if you're needing to, you may need to turn your phones off. You might need to get to a place where you're shutting the white noise out to gain clarity in the situation. Unfortunately, even on a support level, some of you may not have the support level that you felt you had. You're really seeing who your friends are, and you're really being very careful energetically while you're in that minefield, who you're directly turning to for the love and support. During this time. And I do feel energetically, be it you're coupled or be it you're not, emotionally speaking, certain friendships are very key to your sanity at the moment, but you also are key to the given situation. Now, it just, like I say, I just feel there is a huge mess, but again, I don't feel it's your job, and I don't know why. It's like maybe a key to the situation isn't you. It's more letting it unfold the way it's supposed to and letting people step forward into their power. Now, your first energy that's coming through is, and again, I read cards differently, so whatever I'm seeing in my third eye, as well as the energy that's coming through in the card, is the message I'm going to be telling you. Now, you're looking at a situation and you're wanting an aspect to be mature. You're also wanting to get grounded and for it to be a very calm picture. You're wanting a person to step into their power, but you also need to be within your power. So again, it can be that you're seeing something inside another person, but you're realizing that aspect does belong to you as well, and where you can take your power back. Okay, this is coming about, there you go, freshness. This is coming about because there's stagnation. So although you can see the energy of what needs to happen, you actually realize that something does need to change. And this can be connected to a connection, a bond, a relationship, and I feel it's a love interest where it can move forward in life, that for it to reach its potential, something does have to change. Now, this can be in general as well, where it directly relates to a direct situation you're dealing with, and for it to reach its maturity, an aspect of that has to change. Now, there is going to be communication connected to this, and there will need to be negotiations and communication connected to it. There may be a pause in the first week, and that's okay. It's not a new situation, it's an old situation. It can be directly connected to kids, but directly it's not. And again, accommodation is coming up. But, you know, it's not being looked at just yet because there's other problems other than accommodation or a location. It can be home related, but it's not. It feels more emotional related. Now, you're coming out of an energy of feeling sorry for yourself. And this could be the energy you're dealing with or your energy. This could be a partnered energy. It could be a work colleague or, you know, a cross energy of family, but this is more romantic, I'm feeling. You are definitely coming out of a stage where you're crying over spilt milk. You are also, your energy will directly affect the person you're romantically interested in, and they will do the same as well. Now, an aspect of a situation needs to die. Okay? It needs to end. It doesn't have to be that a relationship will end. It feels the energy and the way it was traveling needs to change. And something needs to come together, but until that change happens, it can't, and there is a waiting game connected to it. Yeah, I think you do. I think you live in it for a while, and then it is you taking your power back and you're out of that negative, because you're choosing to vibrate at a different level. And then for them to then catch up, whoever those people are, that's really within their energy field for them to do that work. And I think, directly speaking, you know, we all, when we have connections, have that empathy connected to a situation. And if you're a twin as well, what you will find is you do have a higher level of empathy, which means you actually absorb their environment. So it can come to a place where not only are you dealing with the twin, you're also dealing with your spiritual core sense of the 3D and the 5D, but you're also dealing with the aspect of absorbing that energy and needing to kind of release that. So then it doesn't even become about you. And again, there is an energy field where you're picking up on a vibe from another person, even when you're not directly next to them, and you're unsure whether it's you who's feeling that energy, and you're thinking, wow, you know, I thought I'd purged this. I don't feel it's completely your energy. I feel it's other people's energy. So I'm going to find out at a romantic level. And I'm keeping this month's videos very simple and straight to the point, I think, because everything is very energetic. Because it just comes out of nowhere. You'll know when you're feeling your twin's energy, although when you're up in your head and everything is chaotic, sometimes you won't. When you walk away from it after, you know, when you step back and actually look at the emotion you traveled through, yes, you can know then. Hello, Andrea. Yeah, I do feel it's twin energy. You know, you can see a level of something that needs changing. And you do want peace in it. You feel the energy is quite crowded. You feel there's quite an angry energy. And you know that needs to heal. You energetically can handle it, but I'm seeing you actually taming your line. Wow, Libra. You're standing in your power. I've been drawn to read them only upright with these ones, so I'm going to do as I'm told. Okay. Now, the first image on the card is the devil, but it's, and again, like I said, I read these cards different. I read all my cards different. The energy that's coming through is you know this person. You directly know them. You can see the conflict they have going within them. There is the infinity symbol. Now, that's over your head, so the connection and the umbilical cord is there. There's also a field of, you're looking at it from a different perspective now, because you're stepping away and you're confronting the issue. You're confronting their demons. And it's challenging because you're sitting there very peaceful and they're showing their internal, not who they are, their internal hurts. But you're looking at them saying, you don't scare me. I can see this. I've been there. Now, you do have the tools and there is going to be a peace offering. All right? You've sent the messages through telepathically. And there is going to be justice. You've got the Libra card. In love, there is going to be justice. You're standing in your power. Because you know this person does have the tools and they do have the power. Okay. They're coming out of the hangman situation. And because of this, it's because you've changed the equation. That bang, where they were like that, they're now like that. They have to come out of it. They've got to own their power. There's no choice in the matter. Okay, final card. Strangest weather. It's so humid, it's so sticky. It was cool out here before and the clouds are just black. And I can hear the rumbling. They may have to go through pain in order to free themselves. And it feels painful to do what you're doing. But you know you have to. You know you have to take that. You've got to remove the power to give the power. Does that make sense? It's like you're the medicine woman. You're giving a gift, but it looks painful. It feels painful to do. You also don't want to hurt anyone. You know that they feel that they're abandoned, but they're going to have to find their spiritual self. And it can be directly connected to family. And it may be that you're not talking during this time. Okay. Okay, so you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, I can see who you are. I know who you are on the inside. I see the potential. You're taming the beast. But in order to tame the beast, you need to observe, not do. They will feel that they have to go through this feeling, and they do feel very lost. But in order to be found, they need to be lost. They need to emotionally break all those walls down. The power in the situation is actually, you know, that them realizing they've got to be the tools to do this in order to step into their power. But right now, you know, you might be looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it from an outsider's point of view. That's why you can see the way it needs to be. Now, you don't have the clarity, but you know you need it. But you are going to make a call and you are going to stand in your power through the storm. And this is connected to a person you're romantically involved in that is very emotional and has too many burdens, and they need to directly wipe them away or deal with them or kind of process. And I feel the outside of ourselves always reflects the inside of what's going on. So again, you look at your home, and I mean, mine at the moment is chaos, but I'm now gathering kind of ground. And that does directly relate to what emotionally is going on inside you or around you, so to speak. Now, they have the tools. They will come to you. They are going to meet you halfway. They're going to meet you, they're going to come to you. And it's a bit like Rapunzel, let your hair down. That's the energy I'm feeling here. But you're very calm in this energy. You had the clarity. And they do have some choices they need to make. And they're looking at them. Hello, Jodie. And so they're going to have to come out of that aspect of being a hangman. And yes, they've got choices, and they're realising where they've got power. And they also have pain, and this will directly relate to you as well. You've got your own pain. But there is a romantic outcome, and it is boding well. You're seeing that it has to be that way. Yeah. No, not yet. Okay, romantically speaking, because I feel this is quite a heavy energy. Not heavy in a sense that what you're doing is wrong. It's a dominant energy coming through. Okay, you're wanting peace, and at the moment there isn't any. Okay, you got peace in reverse. You do need to ground yourself and breathe and think about the biggest picture you're wanting. Okay, somebody isn't learning something even though you're trying to show them. So you need to let it go. You need to step back temporarily. Okay. Crystal clearing. Now I've got to tune into that. Okay, crystal clear intentions. Because there's no clarity, you're finding it very hard to forward see. And I feel, again, this may be you, but it might be a partner. It could be a twin. Or a direct road that you're needing to go down. It's very hard when all of this is going on to keep that clarity, to forward see. You're going to have to really sit back and pause, during this time to see what's to come. Okay, energetically, it is going to end. Like, the cycle of it being difficult is going to end. Now, your guides, your guides are watching over you, and it can be that you're coming into your power in an aspect of Kundalini awakening. It can be you're energetically grounding yourself and standing your ground, and your spirit guides are protecting you through this process. Now, you are going to be getting downloads. So it can be that suddenly you start sensing, feeling, and being guided to do certain things. Please trust in those things. Even if you're very afraid, please trust in those things. Any questions while I clean up my mess? Yeah, he'll get wise, but you need to be wise too. We need to come to a place where we just own our power and let the world educate. We have our circle of concern, our bubble, and then the others have their circle of concern. Energetically, life is our educator. Thank you, Davina. No, men aren't. Well, who's to say they are? Just because this has come through in the reading, it's an emotion. You know, it's not that they're stupid. It's, you know, we all have our own hurts and we all have our own perspectives. So we have to be compassionate towards that. Yeah, but again, there are blocks. You know, I read something about divine feminine, and it was about, you know, you've actually got to know. Yes, well, I have been through that. But if I stay in that energy, that's not going to serve me any good. If you actually tune into all the hurts you've had of the cheating and the lying and the deception, you're living in that old energy and you're manifesting it. And definitely that has happened to me. You know, and by far am I perfect, but to remain in that energy and directly not address and heal it, it can be childhood wounds, it can be romantic wounds. If you're coming into it, definitely the feminine does actually have to heal aspects of owning their power and stepping into it, but also coming to a place where you're purging those hurts connected to abandonment. And, you know, an aspect of cheating is a feeling of betrayal / abandonment, because how could you do that to me? So you then project that inside a relationship, should you then have a relationship, and the cycle continues on and on and on. So, you know, until you break that and change that mindset of it just was what it was, and then cast it aside, but you've got to be there emotionally. You're going to hold that pain, like, you know, dragging that horse around, Florence and the Machine, and it does become a very hard way of living in the 3D. So yes, I can directly relate, and I've been bouncing that way, you know, emotionally, but it's almost like you've got to go, well, you energetically will become tired by it, so you'll physically come to a place you just say, breathe. Any other questions? So humid. When you're balanced. Yeah, you're tired of the fight, so let it go. And try not to, you know, when you're going through all those angry emotions connected to another person, it's very hard in that pissed off sense when you're on fire to actually then stop and say, how does this directly relate to me? So go through your emotions, go through that wave, ride that wave, scream, shout, have a temper tantrum, call them bitches and fucking assholes and whatever you want to do. But you've got to come back to core self, because it's a waste of energy. It's just not going to serve you. You will be in that anger and you will be in that abandonment, and you have to move through that. But just stating that constantly, it's going to keep you in that energy field, and it's not healthy. How do you get out of hermit mode after the dark night of the soul? Well, you'll be going through a secondary transition, which will be the Kundalini awakening. So you just go with the flow, be very gentle with yourself. You will energetically just do so. So you'll probably just sit there one day and look around you and go, wow, I've got a lot of crap to do, and you'll just wake up. Yeah, you can, but you have to be emotionally at that place where you're ready to laugh about it. I mean, I can laugh about certain things. Some things, like I said, you can't break what's broken. So definitely I don't like tapping back into my past, but yes, I have had, it is like I said to you, it's like the Jerry Springer show. It's like The Bold and the Beautiful on Dexys. If you knew half of what has happened in my life, you would go, seriously, what the fuck? It's a very amusing story, which it'd be 20 books, you just don't understand. But you can't stay in that energy, because if you're living back there, how the hell are you supposed to be living in the future? How the hell are you supposed to co-create, you know, the new and everything that you have? And sometimes when you're too focused on one path and one energy, How can you have dreams, hopes, you know, plans when you're dormant in energy? You can't stay there. You have, I would always say to many of my friends when I would spiritually guide them, when you're really in that hell and that muck, I always say it would be ignorant for me to feel that everything would stay the same, because nothing ever stays the same. And that's the truth. So even if you're on a friend's couch and you're thinking, shit, is my life ever going to change? Yeah, damn straight it's going to change. They're not going to want you on their couch forever. But, you know, it's the reality. You know, you will get older. You will look at it from a different angle. You will get that fighting spirit back up in you. So no, nothing ever does stay the same. But your fears keep you in that energy. And so you're kidding yourself. That's going to be purged and that will change. Now, trust me, children, try and white light yourself connected to it. I mean, my twin has children, and energetically, yeah, it's just trust in the universe where things are going to balance out. Next question. Any more questions? Yeah. Hi. Trista, you'll probably find your child's actually not an indigo, it's a crystal child, because we as twins are indigos. I did some research the other day, but again, I don't like to get caught up in the tag of it because it's a spiritual energy. I will be doing some videos on how to directly relate to our children. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're freezing. I'm fucking sweating. It's horrible. Thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, well, I haven't been organised enough to have these pre-recorded, so you're stuck with me at the minute live. It's like universe has really stuck me here online. If you're wanting to manifest your twin, you need to do the work. You don't realise there's nothing much you need to do but do your healing. Well, we've got like a tropical thunderstorm happening and it's black. It's getting closer where you can talk to your son. But if he's going through any energies we're going through, he's riding that wave too. Yeah, I did put a video in. Oh, where did I put it? I think I linked it onto the Indigo Children video I did. I've got a link on there about crystal children. If you read through in the notes down the bottom of people's comments, there is one where there's a video on there. But feel free to look at it. Somebody asked me a question about it. I mean, I just directly relate the indigo children as, you know, us, so to speak, this age gap. Where does my accent come from? A lot of hay fever right now. But I'm Kiwi. I've got Turkish, English, Irish and French. And I've lived in New Zealand. I've lived in England. I've been to Cyprus on the Turkish side. Done a lot of travelling. Yeah. When you're in an energy of a relationship, don't get too caught up on feeling whether they are or aren't your twin. Be in the energy of whoever's in your life. You know, you don't want to get caught up on that. If you're unsure whether you got a twin, why would you do that to yourself? Don't do that to yourself. Don't wait then. Because Libra at the moment is guided to do you. Do you, seriously. Like, if your head has been going like this, like you needed an exorcism, just do you, please. No, well, apparently not, but I feel so. I haven't been in a direct experience. I mean, I'm a twin. I believe every energy we have in our life has been directly chosen and connected. So every person we've met or with or deal with is chosen for us. We've chosen it. Wendy, how do you let... When you're open. Okay, everyone. I will talk to you later. I hope all of you are doing well. If you have any questions, you can place comments up. Otherwise, I will see you for the next video. Bye.